Hey everybody, so welcome to the Unscripted Hour. Today I want to talk about something that affects us all, and that's our finances. So I want y'all to take a second and imagine your money working for you. Just take a second, not too long, but just imagine your money working for you, not the other way around. Like, we have to work for our money some type of way, but in this very moment, I want you to imagine if we could make our money work for us, and what do that look like? So do we have that picture yet? So I want you to think of there's some banks out there, and they offer a good what we would call an APY, a good annual percentage yield. Um and some of the smallest rates that a bank could offer is 0.01, and that's offering you a penny on your dollars, and that's nothing. And just imagine, your bank pays you at the end of the month. It's 12 months. Um, it's about 12 cents for the whole year. But I want you to imagine if we could change that rate to 4%, 5%, maybe even 6%. Could we get that rate somewhere and not stick with 0.01, just earning a penny on our dollar? And what could that do for our life? How could it change us? And I want to tell you, we can get that 4%, that 5%, 6%, maybe 8%. And it's some high yield savings accounts that you would have to lock your money up for maybe 6 months, 12 months, maybe 2 years. But I'm also here to tell you that there's some accounts out there where you do not have to lock your money up. You don't have to lock your money up. And you can use these accounts. You can get that 2%, that 3%, that 4%, that 5%, maybe even 6% for free, where you might not have to lock your money up. It's not always a guarantee, but you cannot beat this where your money is now making money. You're sitting your money in an account, and because you're sitting it there, you're earning interest on your money. So a lot of people don't know that. They just want to just go out there and spend, 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 spend. Another thing I wanted to talk about was fractional shares. And fractional shares is how I started with investing. I really don't recommend it, but I recommend it where you're trying to learn the process of investment, where you're like, I really don't understand how to invest. I've been thinking about investing. What are the things that I can do? And fractional shares was something that I actually started with fractional shares on Cash App. To keep it 100. Cash App had came out with it around COVID, and I was on it. I just looked at it. I was always interested in it, and it seemed Cash App made it so simple. So I recommend it if anybody want to go in there. Cash App have its faults, but when it came to investing and for a beginner to want to learn the game, it was great. It made me feel comfortable. It made me feel okay, I can do this. It was many times I thought about, I don't understand what I'm doing. Let me pull out of it. And because Cash App was so basic, it was so simple. I stayed in the game. And with fractional shares, you get all of it. You get, like, if the company pay a dividend, you'll get a dividend. It's just small. I don't recommend it because if you're trying to invest, you're trying to make money. So you want to buy the whole shares and you want to get the whole benefit of what the stock is going to do. You can't really get that benefit with a fractional share. Fractional share, that's not even one share. Your goal is to buy many shares of a company. Now, I'm not saying all this at once. You want to take your time buying the company and to diversify. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I will tell you personally, I since I have started this, I have seen the ups, the downs, the good, the bads. I had bought a company that went out of business, put about over $500 in this company, and it went bankrupt and lost all of that money and things like that. But because I had other companies that was doing good, it was like, I missed that $500. But because I had other companies doing good, it outweighed me losing um that money in that company. And thank God it was only just $500. I took a chance on it. There wasn't really too much to buy stocks in that company. So I thought like, hey, I can get in and see the outcome. But the company actually went out of it's crazy now though, because the company now is back in business some way, somehow. Um and they're doing good and things like that. So but during the time that I had invested, I did lose my money in the company. So I don't want to tell you that it's all good to invest. That's why you do diversify. And people always ask me what to buy. Josh, what to buy? What's recommend? What you got? And I don't really want to tell them what to buy because it's not the same time. When I bought it, it's not the same time as you're gonna buy it. And you can't time the market. When I bought it, it could have been good. It could have been going up. And when you buy it, it can just suddenly go down. And the profit that I have on it cannot look the same as if when you buy it, you can actually lose money on this company. So I wouldn't really recommend a company, but what I tell people is to buy what you love. Start off with that. Like if you like Nike, you like to buy some Nike shoes, go buy some Nike stock. You like that Apple product and you always going to go buy the next Apple phone. Buy you an Apple stock. Buy something that will be worth your. When you buy the phone, you have no more money. The money is now gone. But if you buy the Apple stock, which has been in great investment, go check it out. Just go do your research. You put that same money that you put into the iPhone into the stock, you will be rich. You will have all this money. You put it 900. People, it's crazy though because people buy, let's say, a phone every year, and I'm not sure. Let's just say if a phone is around $800. If you took that same $800 and just put it into Apple every year, just do the math of how much of an investment that would have been for you. It would have been good. But going back to savings accounts and if we just found 4% yield, that's matching 4% on, on the same dollar of that 0.01 that we talked about earlier. So we want to get all the money that we can. And this is just making money off of the money that we have already. This is already just making money off of the money that we have already. Like if your savings isn't outpacing inflation, you're losing out. You're effectively losing out. And we have to change that. That's why people are going to paycheck to paycheck. And another thing I want to talk about is with self-inflation, where it's like you spend more because you make more. And I actually went through this because I was making more. Every time I made more, I found myself spending more. And I'm just like, I wasn't spending this amount originally. Why am I spending this amount now that I'm making more? So I had to change my mindset of, okay, this is how much I'm making now, or go back of, this is how much I used to make. Just, okay, this is how much I'm making. I'm not making any more than that, and try to save and invest the rest. But most problems with people, I experienced this myself. As soon as we make more, we spend more. Where we want to not do that. We want to save more. We want to take that and actually say save more. At least for a couple years. I'm not saying not go have your fun, but right away, like people are just out just spending that money where we can just do so much with that. We got to change it. We got to change that mindset. Starts now. Um, it was good. 2025 showed that wages are finally growing faster than inflation. Inflation, where it was a 4.3 versus 2.4, which is really good. Which is really really good. Um, usually inflation uh can be right near, it make it feels like you're not even getting a raise. Let's go back to 2001, 2022, where inflation had hit 8%. 8%. It made, us feel like getting groceries was buying luxury jewelry and things like that. Going to the market was a scarce time. It's still a scarce time. We're just now getting back to that like recovery moment. Um, but just think of that, where it was hard to get the food we was gonna eat, the food your family was gonna eat. Everything was just so high in the market. It felt like you was making nothing. So this is a reason why you want to save now. You don't want to wait to it get to a moment where you're living paycheck to paycheck and it's hard. If you start now, it's what we call compound interest. That snowball effect. You got to start small. And when you start now and you get later on your life, you're gonna be grateful of these things. Like I was looking at a something. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. I'm not sure. Uh, no, I can't really find it. But like I said, compound interest is like it's not just making money on your money. It's making money on the interest that was given to you too. So that's why we call it compound interest and that snowball effect, because it's not just now you put in money. It's now, okay, you're putting money and now the interest that's already built on top of it is now making money, which is a great thing. Like people don't know how that feel. I experienced that. I experienced compound interest where, something was paying me $1, and then I put more money in it, and then it was paying me $5, and then $6, and then it was paying me $10, and then it was paying me $15, and then to just see it keep paying me more money. Like, all I do is just hold my money there and it pays me. It pays me. And the money goes up. So as long as I have it there and if the market is good, you know, I will receive this compound snowball interest effect. So that's why you want to start small. Not start small, you want to start early, because if you start too late, then the compound interest it doesn't work. It's too late. It doesn't work. And we want to teach this to our young, because they're young, they're working. We got people working at 16, 17, 18. They start their compound interest early. They start buying the things they love. All these they just wasting money, and we teach them what to buy, and they do that consistently until they're 30, 35, 40. They're financially wealthy by 40. Can buy a house, can support their family, financially stable, can do whatever they want with their money by 30, 35, 40. Not probably don't have to work the rest of their life. They're probably done working. And this is by choice. If you get bored, you're gonna go to work, you're still fairly young. But if you do the right moves and invest in the right places, and if you start 15 years old, 14, 16, you can be done by 40. You can be done by 40. So I just want to end off on the on something that I read, and it was talking about, basically being a money multiplier. And it talks about compound interest, and this is how it goes. So it's like planting a tree. It's like planting a tree that grows more trees. You start with a little, and over time, your money starts making money on the money it already made. That's how the wealthy stays wealthy. They let the time and patience do the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, some folks are out here spending $300 on a single meal while their future self is starving. We have to flip that mindset. Now, I don't know if you really paid attention to what I said at the end, but I said, meanwhile, some folks out here starving on a while their future self is spending $300 on a single meal. You could take that $300 and invest it into the stock market. So, and if you're doing this on a single meal, I know some people like this. I know some people that consistently go out to, just, and I'm not saying only that good life, but, maybe here and there, you know, not every day, not every weekend. And then you're looking at like, why do life sucks? Why is life like this? Why is my life like this? You made your life like this. And you have to change it now. You can only change it now. No one else can change it now. But you. You gotta make that change. You spending $300 on a meal every single night. You can afford that. Go invest your money. You take a quarter of that. $100 go to the market and $200 on the meal. Well, at least 2/3 of that. $200 should be in the market, and $100. What are you spending $300 every night on a single meal? And you got and then you're complaining that you're not financially wealthy because you're spending $300 a night on a meal on a weekend. We have to change that mindset. And I told you some things that we can start with. Like I said, we can start with investing. We can start with savings account, high yield savings account, earn that 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, all the way up to 8 to 10%. Get that money. Get that money, y'all. Don't let your money sit there not getting nothing for it. Let's take our money and let's make some more money with the money we have. Let's stop killing ourselves, overworking ourselves, stressing ourselves. Let's just have better qualities and a better money mindset. I want to thank y'all for listening. If y'all tuned in today, tonight, this morning, every time you listen to this is just a short, episode at the unscripted hour. My name is Josh Watts. Peace.